Jerusalem, where a zealous young Pharisee began a campaign of persecution. Everything was about to change. Saul was still breathing out murderous threats against the Lord's disciples. Zealous, dangerous.
Saul went to the high priest and asked for letters to the synagogues in Damascus, so that if he found any there who belonged to the way, he might arrest them. As he neared Damascus on his journey, suddenly a light from heaven flashed around him.
The road to Damascus, long, dusty, about to become the most famous road in history. About noon, as he came near Damascus, a light from heaven suddenly flashed. A light from heaven flashed around him. He fell to the ground.
Saul! Saul! Why do you persecute me?
The voice asked. His whole world collapsed.
"Who are you, Lord?" "I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting."
Everything changed instantly.
Get up and go into the city. You will be told what to do.
Saul got up from the ground, but when he opened his eyes, he could see nothing. So they led him by the hand into Damascus. The persecutor, now helpless. He entered Damascus blind, not as a persecutor, as a man completely undone. For 3 days he was blind. He did not eat or drink anything.
In his blindness, Saul was praying. His life completely reoriented in 3 days.
In a vision, the Lord called, "Ananias." "Yes, Lord," he answered.
"Go to the house on Straight Street and ask for Saul. He is praying."
"Lord, I have heard how much harm this man has done to your people. Go. This man is my chosen instrument to proclaim my name to the Gentiles. Here am I, Lord."
Ananias went and entered the house. He found Saul Queriv, blind, waiting, praying.
"Brother Saul, the Lord has sent me, so you may see again." Something like scales fell from Saul's eyes of Homa, and he could see again. He got up and was baptized. Saul the persecutor became Paul the servant. After taking some food, he regained his strength. A completely different man. Saul spent several days with the disciples in Damascus. Enemies and talk, becoming family.
At once he began to preach in the synagogues that Jesus is the Son of God. All those who heard him were astonished. "Isn't this the man who persecuted us?" Yet Saul grew more and more powerful, proving that Jesus is the Messiah.
Damascus, where a persecutor became a preacher, where hatred was completely undone by grace. After many days had gone by, the Jews conspired to kill him.
But Saul learned of their plan. Day and night they kept close watch.
The city gate was guarded day and night in order to kill him. His followers took him by night and lowered him in a basket through the wall.
Saul escaped with his life. The persecutor, now the persecuted. For the same name.
When he came to Jerusalem, he tried to join the disciples. They were afraid. They did not believe he really was a disciple. His reputation preceded him.
But Barnabas took him and brought him to the apostles. He told them everything. So Saul stayed with them and moved about freely in Jerusalem, speaking boldly.
He talked and debated with the Hellenistic Jews, but they tried to kill him. First lesson: no one is too far gone for God to transform completely. Second lesson: sincere conviction can still be completely, dangerously wrong.
Third lesson: God can interrupt a life at its most confident, wrong moment.
Why do you persecute me?
Who are you, Lord?
Fourth lesson: Jesus identifies completely with those who suffer for his name.
Fifth lesson: sometimes we must lose our sight to gain true vision.
Sixth lesson: God can call us to reach out to those we fear most.
Seventh lesson: grace calls the transformed brother before trust is fully earned. Eighth lesson: physical healing often mirrors the deeper spiritual healing happening.
Ninth lesson: God doesn't remove our passion. He redirects it toward truth.
10th lesson 2. Following Jesus sometimes requires humbling, undignified obedience. The road to Damascus, still traveled today, still remembered as the road of transformation, the temple where letters of persecution were granted. History changed on this very ground.
Straight Street still exists in Damascus today, a living witness to this true story.
Damascus in golden light, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities on earth. The road in the golden light, where a persecutor met his persecuted Lord.
Jerusalem at evening, where a persecutor left with letters perfumed and returned as a preacher.
The street where scales fell from blind eyes, where fear turned into fellowship.
Under the same stars, a basket was lowered, a life was saved, a mission continued.
This is where the persecutor first proclaimed the very faith he tried to destroy.
The temple in golden light, where zealous religion gave way to authentic transformation. From this road, Paul would carry the gospel across the entire Roman Empire.
Archaeology confirms ancient Damascus. This encounter happened in a real, verifiable place.
The street called Straight Mound still runs through Damascus, 2,000 years later. Every generation has its Saul. Every generation needs its own Damascus Road encounter. Sunrise on the road. Every morning, a reminder that God can interrupt any life. Every dawn over Straight Street remembers scales falling, sight returning, a life renewed.
God does not waste our passion. He simply redirects it toward His purposes.
The most dangerous letters in history were written here and unwritten on a road,
the road at evening, where noonlight once blinded a man into true sight. Straight Street in golden light, where fear met grace and grace won completely. Sunset over Damascus, every evening cleft, a reminder that no one is beyond redemption. Jerusalem at night, where a persecutor's plans were made and later completely undone. Under the stars pay the road remembers. Noonlight. Sunrise on Straight Street. Every morning found, a reminder that sight can always be restored. The synagogue at evening, where the persecutor's first sermon shocked an entire city.
Sunrise on the temple, where authorized persecution began, where transformation later triumphed.
The road in golden light, where the persecutor became the greatest missionary ever.
Every dawn over Damascus confirms it. God's grace is bigger than anyone's past.
Under the stars, a house of prayer. 3 days of darkness, then sight.
Jerusalem in golden light, where the persecutor returned to preach with equal boldness. The most famous conversion in history happened on an ordinary road at noon.
One of history's most feared persecutors, Buktind, became one of history's most beloved apostles.
Ananias is barely mentioned again, but without his obedience, Paul's ministry never happens.
The temple at night, where zealous religion once demanded persecution letters, now silent.
This road launched missionary journeys that would take the gospel across 3 continents. The house of Judas on Straight Street, still remembered, still a place of pilgrimage.
The same streets, the same city, a completely different man walking through them.
Sunrise finds Jerusalem still standing. Every morning toll, a testimony to grace triumphing over hate.
Every midday sun over this road remembers a light brighter than the sun itself.
A frightened disciple and a former persecutor. Together, they changed the world. Sunrise on Damascus, one of the oldest cities on earth, witness to the greatest transformation.
The temple at evening, where the story began, where it would later fully transform.
The road at night, where light once outshone the sun, where hatred became love. Sunset on Straight Street, every evening full, a reminder that sight can always return. A community that had every reason to fear him, Krungfos, chose instead to welcome him.
Jerusalem still stands, the city where the greatest opponent became the greatest advocate.
The road in golden light, still here, still telling the story of grace triumphant.
Under the stars' Duumum, Damascus rests, carrying within it the greatest conversion story ever told.
Sunrise finds Saul restored, ready, transformed, the whole world about to hear his story.
A persecutor became an apostle. A murderer became a missionary. Grace changes everything.
2,000 years later, Dehenwi, people still travel to walk this same historic road.
The letters requested here never accomplished what the persecutor intended. God redirected everything.
Paul would go on to write nearly half the New Testament. From this transformation,
the house on this street held 3 days that changed the trajectory of human history.
This road launched a mission that would eventually reach Rome and beyond, and us.
The same courage that once persecuted the church now boldly defended it.
Damascus in golden light, carrying, forever, the story of grace triumphing over hatred.
Every dawn over this street remembers a fearful disciple who chose obedient courage.
Sunrise on the road that changed the world. Every generation still needs its own.
Sunset on the temple, every evening tailored, a reminder that religious zeal must be tested by truth. One frightened obedience, one transformed persecutor. Together, Mesti, they changed everything.
This narrow street held the most important 3 days in one man's entire life.
The road at evening, every sunset poorly, a reminder that God's timing is always perfect. Under the stars Pondieu, the transformed man looked ahead. His whole life had just changed. Every dawn over Jerusalem carries this story. From persecution to proclamation, grace prevailing. The light that once blinded him Candide now simply warms his transformed, grateful face. Noon on this road. The exact hour a persecutor met the risen Lord.
In this synagogue tie, the persecutor's voice first proclaimed the very faith he hated.
The temple where it began. The road where it changed. The gospel that followed. A blinding light. A humbling fall. A complete transformation. Grace found him first.